Hi again, people of BookTube. It's Kerry here from A Novel Experience. I am doing my wrap-up for the Dewey's 24-hour read-a-thon. It was so much fun. It was the first ever read-a-thon I ever took part in, and I loved every single minute of it. The community on Twitter was absolutely incredible. I made some really nice friends. I mean, there's Always Opinionated, there was Nat, there was Health Nerd. Everyone was so lovely. I'll leave all of the links to their Twitters down below. They've all got some really, really good book blogs, and they're really fun to read, so I definitely recommend them. I read 3.5 books, although 2 of them are on my Kindle, so I don't know if they count. But yeah, I read 3.5 books in 24 hours, which I was quite pleased with because they weren't exactly short books. So yeah, let's get started. First book I read was on the Kindle, my baby, and that was Coraline by Neil Gaiman. It was the first Neil Gaiman book I've ever read, and I loved it. I read the illustrated edition of Coraline, and it was like the illustrations were creepy. It was great. It's about, I don't know if you need to know what it's about because I'm sure everyone's heard of it or seen the film. But it's about a girl who likes to think of herself as an explorer, and she is exploring the outside and of her new home, and one day it's raining, so she decides to explore inside the house, where she comes across a little door. And she opens the door, she crawls through and finds her other mother and her other father on the other side. And I'm not going to go into any more detail than that because I don't want to spoil the story for you. But oh, it was so fun and creepy, and I got through it in an hour. That's how much I loved it. I just couldn't put it down. And then I read my illustrated edition of Harry Potter. Oh, it was so good, and I cried. This book was so good. It made me cry because I was reading it, and all of the images were so amazing, and it reminded me of the first time I ever read Harry Potter when I was really, really young, and all of the illustrations just completely and utterly matched up with everything in my head. Just look at that. That's Harry when he is talking to the snake in the zoo, and it was amazing, and I haven't read it for such a long time, so it was definitely needed. But oh my god, I can't wait for next year when the next one is out. They're releasing a book a year for 7 years until they're all out, and I cannot wait for the Chamber of Secrets, although I am severely arachnophobic, so I don't know how I'm gonna deal with the spiders in that one, but we'll give it a go. But yeah, it was absolutely incredible, and I haven't read it for such a long time, so it was definitely needed. Just look, that's the little house that they go and stay in when they're trying to evade the Hogwarts letters. Oh, it was absolutely insanely good. I loved it. And yeah, it made me cry because, just memories, memories of my childhood. Nostalgia. And then I read an ARC that I received via NetGalley of, it's called Lost Girls, and it's by a crime thriller author called Angela Marsons, and she is tied for my favourite crime thriller author. It's her and Sharon Bolton as my tied favourites, but she is really good. She has written a series of novels based on the detective Kim Stone. And the first one is called Silent Scream, and it was really, really good. It was my least favourite of her 3 Kim Stone novels so far, but I still enjoyed it, and I still gave it 4 out of 5 stars on NetGalley and on Goodreads as well. So if you want to read my review on that, it is on my Goodreads, which I will link down below. And then I started reading a David Mitchell book. It's the first David Mitchell book I've read, and it is a short story called Slade House, which was also given to me via NetGalley. I applied for it and they said yes, and it is a short story horror mystery. So I'm not even going to go. It's basically based around one house called Slade House. And I'm not going to give you any more information on that because I don't want to spoil the story, but it is so good. I absolutely loved it. I haven't finished it yet because after the readathon I've had a couple of days off reading. 24 hours of solid reading and no sleep does sort of make you a little bit anti-reading just for a day or two. But I'm hoping to finish that today because, as I said, it's a short story, so it doesn't take very long to read at all. But I'm absolutely loving it. I think it's creepy and it's spooky, and you really want to find out what happens next. So I'm really enjoying that. So yeah, Coraline I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Harry Potter I obviously gave 5 out of 5 stars. I obviously don't need to go into what Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone is about, or Sorcerer's Stone, depending on where you are in the world. I don't need to go into that, I don't think. But I've absolutely loved it, and I also gave Angela Marzen's Lost Girls 4 out of 5 stars. So yeah, that's really good, and I'm sure I'm going to give the David Mitchell Slade House 5 out of 5 when I finish it later on today. So I think that's everything. I'm not sure what my next video will be, whether it will be an October wrap-up or whether it will be my October book haul, because I bought too many books this month. Way too many books this month. It is scary how many books I have bought. So, it might be one of those two, or it might be a tag, who knows? It'll be a surprise for you. People like surprises, don't they? I hate surprises. Don't look at me, I hate them. Really don't like surprises, but we can pretend I do for the sake of the videos. So yeah, thank you very much for watching my videos. I will see you all very soon. Mwah! Bye bye.